Hello and welcome to the CDAO Magazine interview series. I'm Nino Tariello, President of the Italian Data Management Association and coordinator of the EMEA region, as well as a partner of the CDAO Magazine editorial board and the MIT CDAO IQ Symposium. I'm here today with Credem, and we are participating with the CDAO Magazine and the International Society of Chief Data Office in a series of interviews. So welcome, Stefano, and nice to see you. Can you start speaking a little bit about yourself and about Credem, please?
Hello, thank you so much, Nino. It's a pleasure to be with you. I am a Chief Data and Analytics Officer of the Credem Group. I have a long experience in IT, risk management, wealth management, all sectors where you have to work with a lot of data. Passionate about data, but even more passionate about people who work in the data world, and it is for this reason that I work in Credem. Credem Group is more than 100-year-old. It's one of the main Italian banks and also one of the most reliable banks in Europe. Group covers the whole of Italy and operates with its 14 companies which specialize in different sectors such as wealth management, leasing, factoring, credit services, like loan of mortgages and insurance. As you can imagine, our group keeps a very large quantity of data.
Well, absolutely. And thank you for the introduction. It's quite challenging, I'm sure. So speaking about all the data you are managing, I'm sure you will have to face the data governance challenge. So how did you address the governance bit of it?
Like many others, we have begun to address the issue in such a way with the guidelines defined by surveillance authorities, which has begun to talk about data governance. It has begun to define the rules that the various institutes have to follow to govern the quality of their data. As somebody might ask, when the bank already doing this, when the analysis being checked, wasn't somebody already pay attention to the quality of the information being disclosed? The answer is obviously yes, but the authorities have asked the organization involved to structure this process, but even more importantly, to report this factor as part of the bank's risk and more precisely in operational risk. At the moment, the real opportunity is the better way. We realize the importance of valuing and sharing our knowledge about our information assets to create what? A value for our customers. The context is which we work is characterized by various factors in which data and technology are constantly changing. I think 59 zettabytes of data is the IDC estimate for this 2020 made in May, which we certainly is be excited by the final balance. We are flooded with information, which we only use in part. It estimated that the bank only uses 50% of the information they have available, only 50%. And this does not necessarily mean 50% is used well. Anyway, the information governance model or data governance that you have developed places emphasis on two main objectives: utility and adaptability. Useful of every process, role, techniques, and tools is present in the system only because it is essential to cover specific business objectives and requirements in terms of compliance or support for corporate value. Adaptable goals and requirements which vary over time. Consequently, the information governance system adapt with changes and if possible anticipate and supports them, adapting its metadata, processes, role, techniques, tools to the real needs and challenges of the moment. A real service-oriented approach. The simple regulatory exercise could no longer be the goal, but is the means to create value for our customer, for our company.
It's so fascinating. Thank you, Stefano. And sorry, I just want to pick up on your last point on the create value. So I know it's quite a complex exercise and it's not as easy to enable, to activate. So especially when you talk about data. So, but I know it's a challenge. So is something you are addressing, or is something you are succeeding to? And if so, would you mind just to tell us a little bit more about this?
Yeah, first of all, you started from the concept that data has no value. It is the cost. Direct in the infrastructures and its management, indirect because it's, if not interpreted correctly, is lead to making wrong decision for our group. We must no longer to talk about the value of data, but begin to be aware that the value is generated by data. But who generates the value? The data scientist over the years has been seen as the domain expert and experts in mathematics, programming, and we also claim to be a communication expert. But do we really want to make this poor data scientist do all these things? Let him do what he's really good at. In Credem, we have started to read a path to identify the different profile necessary to create value from data. We have dispelled the myth of the all-around data scientist able to operate in all phases of data analysis. The data scientist-centric approach is the waste of resource, as it entails following trend and having very little understanding of this world. Returning to our group, we have identified mainly 5 profiles that participate in the enhancement of our information assets. Information governor that govern information, data analysts that extract information from data engineer that organize the data scientists that take partner in data, information designer, know how to convey information. Each has specific skills on tools, programming languages, or techniques. All these components, these characteristics, show a skill differentiates us as professionals and as people. It is important to understand that people who work in the world of data cannot make the same contribution to everyone, because everyone has different talent. So you understand the skills that were associated with the data scientists are actually skills that can be associated with different profiles. This does not mean that a person is either a data engineer or a data scientist. It can be both. But you need to have a specific talent to represent both. Knowing how to recognize them means knowing how to value them.